Hello everyone and welcome to our July look at what's new in loco shortline operations. Now bear in mind this is a look at the dev build, which if you're unsure how to access that, just ask down in the comments. Either myself or someone else will be happy to tell you how to access that through Steam if you haven't already done so. So there's two builds of the game. There's the standard build, which everyone by default gets access to. That's the most stable version, shall we say. So once all the updates have been tested in the dev build and we know they're stable and good, they'll get pushed to the standard. But this is just showing off what is new, what's on the cutting edge of the game development from Joe. So anyway, with that said, let's get this rocking and rolling. So I'm going to take off the brakes. I'm going to stick some reverser in. I'm going to give some throttle, and I'm going to take you through some of the great and good additions to the game. Now you'll notice we are using the standard gauge for this, just to mix it up, and also there is some relevance in a couple of things. So additions to the game, let's cover those first. So the first thing is there is now a failsafe for missing or corrupted files, and the reason Joe's gone ahead and added that in, there was a couple of issues where it wasn't doing a check previously to see if there's any files missing or if your save game had got corrupted somehow, which was then causing issues with loading in and playing. Now it does a check, make sure that's all good and well off the bat. The next addition is custom keys. That's something people have asked for a while. That is now in the game, I'm happy to report. Add up speed. And to go with that is a system to allow you to change the keyboard keys. So the keyboard bindings on here can now be changed. Mouse bindings haven't been implemented yet. Now I haven't had to play around with any of these things as of yet, because quite frankly I like the default layout of the keys. I think everything works well. I'm used to it, but if you're one of those that would prefer different settings or keyboard or buttons, so on and so forth, now you can play with that. And one thing you may have noticed about the UI in the bottom left is we covered padlock in the previous video, which, just a little reminder, if you were to hold Alt, go down and click padlock, you can jump around locomotives, so on and so forth, but still retain control of the locomotive you're on that you lock the padlock. Now we also have a cog, which if I click on that, you'll see if you hold Alt, you can control that, as you can see. So you can now use sliders. Play around with it. How cool is that? So that covers most of the additions. We'll come back to something in a moment. So let's move on to the fixes. Now, first one is the forklift UI wasn't sticking properly to the left bottom corner, which was causing a few people issues. That's now been fixed, I'm happy to say. And the next one is the large oil pump. So this didn't affect the small one, only the large one. But if you built it and you had multiple storage tanks nearby, it's now been fixed, so you don't get it filling the multiple tanks on each click or rotation of the cycle. So it will only fill one on one cycle, then it will fill another, so on and so forth, rather than doing all of them, which was a bit of a cheaty way if you'd got it set up. So that's been sorted, that's fixed. On to the next fix, which isn't something I'd come across personally, but it was in there and has been fixed, which is an error when your hooked cargo disappears sometimes because of the new chain / cable on the Raven. But as I say, I never experienced it personally. Some people did. That's now fixed. And going back to the addition of custom keys, some people earlier in the month when it first implemented, it wasn't saving the custom keys. That's now been updated and fixed also. I'm happy to report that. And last but not least on the fixes is the save info on this Merchford map wasn't wrapping around properly, so you was getting some overlay on the text, which made it difficult to read. That has now also been fixed. So, all good stuff, I'm sure you'll agree. Now moving on to miscellaneous stuff, which could possibly fall into additions, but see what you want to categorise it in your own head. But the hoppy on standard gauge, which I do have one, and it's up in the yard ahead, which we can go jump to in a moment. In fact, let's slow down and stop our train here. We'll just... Normally I wouldn't park it on the main, but don't worry, I will come and move it later on. Right now, we want to go over to the yard because the hoppy, as per popular request, now accepts coal. If you're unfamiliar with the hoppy, just let me quickly pop over to the yard. In fact, we may be able to do it quicker like this. Yeah. So the hoppy is the boxy looking open wagon, gondola, depending on what part of the world you come from. Anyway, this one, it now will accept coal for all those that have been requesting it. Previously, it's a bit of an oddball. You could put large goods in it, standard goods, pretty much anything apart from coal or liquids. Now you can do that. And the other thing that comes under miscellaneous, which I'm also happy to report, is that loading times have had an optimization. Again, not something I would have any complaints about previously, but I know some other people on lower end systems were struggling with that, so that has been optimized, and that will help with multiplayer loading especially, because ideally you don't want multiple people trying to load into your game at the same time. It's just a lot cleaner and smoother if you load in one after another, so that will help with that. Which brings us on to the big one. So I'm going to come through here. You may have seen it briefly while I was scrolling through. We have a passenger train sat here. And you may be thinking, well, we had passenger trains before. What is so special about that? Well, I will show you. Let me just go ahead and set a route out of here. So come up here. We don't want that crossover there. We want to come up here, go around Discord here, straight up. Wow. So, what do we got to update you on the passengers? Right, let's jump in here and fire up our loco. So, first thing, using the F9 screen. You can now choose where you want destinations to be. Look, we have very good is in red. Now this does seem to take a little bit of time to update. As you can see, I can accept one city industrial suppliers people here. Heavy goods yard, city industrial and Winston Bay in this coach. So when we drive our train forward, knock off brake, give it a little power. Bring our train in. So with me, I don't want to come racing too fast into the station. See our little plumbobs. We'll come jump in. And take the seats. We've got 8 people for Winston Bay, 11, 13. Wait. No, I didn't say anything to you, silly phone. Apologies for that. So, as you can see, this coach is loading up. This one is saved just for city industrial supplies, which is actually what this station is here. So this coach will stay empty. And the other cool thing, now our coach is full, passengers are no longer wandering back and forth trying to load. When your platform, when your coach rather is full, they will stop boarding. And if we change But you'll see that people will get on for the heavy goods yard and Winston Bay. Gotta say, I do love this. So, there we have it, guys. That is our look at July's update 2023 for loco shortline operations. Hopefully you have enjoyed this coverage, and if you have and you have the game, go check them out for yourself, and don't forget to give your feedback on the official loco shortline operations Discord or on this Steam page, where myself and others will be happy to discuss the game with you, hopefully answer any queries, and yeah, generally make your loco shortline operations journey more enjoyable. With that said, guys, that is going to be it for this video. Thank you very much for checking it out, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye for now.